Fitness was been part of my life ever since I was little.
There's some places that make donuts in like tallow.
Played football, basketball in high school. I played in college.
So he's the do not die guy.
Yeah, the Daily Donut. It started years ago.
That this guy lost 100 pounds, and when you grabbed his skin, it literally pulled out to here.
Muscular football player with low body fat. I got into the modeling industry, and they told me
Buffalo Wild Wings does that in their chicken. They're like one of the places that doesn't
Buffalo Wild
use.
Wings does not use beef tallow.
Hey guys, it's Jason Emer. I'm super excited for you to be here for another one of our podcasts on the patio. We are finally having a nice sunny day, and we have an amazing guest today. I'm excited because we have somebody who's actually more fit than me and takes exercise really serious today. Brady Ervin is here, and he has over 250,000 followers on Instagram and does some amazing things with his Instagram. And I was really excited about it when my friend Alec told me about him. Not only is he very fit and promotes a healthy lifestyle, hard work, dedication, sacrifice for your body, for your mind, but also he does this thing called Donut Body, which, you know, if you guys follow Instagram really closely, you know, the stuff that I post, we talk about like crumble cookies and crumble reviews and donut reviews, and you do donut reviews, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about them. I want to hear how that started, and then we'll get into everything about you.
Yeah, the Daily Donut. It started years ago. Just kind of emerged from my own struggle with dieting. I was a terrible dieter. Could never stick to like a healthy diet. I was yo-yo dieting, kind of super strict all week, and then I would binge eat on the weekends.
That's always the worst for you.
Yeah.
That actually makes it so much worse.
Yeah, it was. I just derailed kind of all the progress during the week. I just kind of lived for the weekends. And then the Daily Donut just started because I wanted to work out at 6 a.m. and my motivation was to eat a donut on the way. My favorite donut shop was right outside my apartment, SK's. Over by the Grove. So I would wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, stop, get a donut, like a fresh donut at like 6 a.m. when it's like just made and it's still warm from a good donut shop. It's life-changing.
Alec doesn't even know this. Okay, our producer doesn't even know this about me. So I'm a dermatologist, but I do a lot of liposuction. And right after those procedures, especially the next day, you're very low volume, you feel really weak, you've taken like a lot of fat out, fluids, so you're dehydrated and stuff. I send my patients donuts usually. Now, most doctors tell you don't eat bad after surgery, you know, like low salt, this and that, but I feel like you need something to like get you back. We do IVs, we do a lot of other stuff too. And some of the most beautiful, thinnest women that I do these surgeries on, their favorite thing is donuts, and it has to be the ones that have stuff on top. Okay. So my patients like the ones with like cereal and like extra cookies and like, you know, or stuff. Like have to be like layers. What type of donut are you talking about that are the best? Because if you're going there every day, you have to have experience.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When it comes to donuts, like I'm a classic guy. Apple fritters my favorite.
Okay.
Second is a glazed cronut.
The fritters are high calories.
The fritters are, yeah.
I love them too.
I have a few rules with donuts. One rule is never eat a whole apple fritter.
Okay, that's good.
Half. Yeah.
Or half now and then half like maybe the next day or later in the day.
Yeah, just not in the same day.
So explain to me. So you were doing this, and now how did you take that to be something that was recognizable for you in your career and then with clients? Because that's a kind of a unique thing. I've never actually seen anyone do that. And someone who's so fit, being able to look that way, if you're actually eating those things, or if you're at least telling people not to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just funny. Like I started eating a donut every day on Instagram. I was just posting it to my story. It started like Daily Donut one. And I was just like, I'm just going to eat one every day. So I was just kind of sharing what I was when I was eating. So it was kind of dark, just filming myself, posting to my story. And I got into crazy good shape eating a donut every day.
That's crazy. So
it just turned into my thing. People saw me eating a donut. I became the donut guy. I got in better shape than I was before I ate a donut every day. So
what were you doing differently then?
I stopped binge eating.
So it was eating in moderation.
It was,
having certain things in moderation and the right times.
It was the balance in moderation. Yeah.
That's crazy. So let's go back now. How you started into fitness, because that's basically what your career is, right?
Yeah.
And how did you then start obviously getting into fitness?
Wow. So
I mean, have you been like an athlete your whole life, or what got you into actually wanting to help other people?
yeah, fitness was been part of my life ever since I was little. Started working out with the Bowflex in 7th and 8th grade when they told me not to lift weights because it would stunt my growth. So I was down in my parents' basement, got my dad to
God.
give me a Bowflex. So I was doing that 7th, 8th grade, graduated to weights, played football, basketball in high school. I played in college. Went to Iowa State for a couple years to play football, transferred to a small D1 school, played football and basketball. I was in, I don't know, they called me Brady the Body in college. So I was kind
For
of
what reason?
just, I had,
Always ripped and had
I
muscle.
had, yeah,
That's good.
like the,
So
I
in
was,
college, did you drink and did you party and stuff like that?
yeah,
And you were still able to stay fit?
yeah.
Okay, so you have good
I played
genetics.
2 sports in college,
Yeah.
so I'd never had an off season. I was always competing, and you just burn so many calories. It didn't really matter.
It's true.
I had no idea about nutrition in college. I wish I did. I wish I knew now what. Wish I could go back and play college all over again with what I know now. Because before it was just eat until you're full, finish every dinner with a bowl of cereal. You just
And
wake up and eat
cereal is literally one of the worst things for your body. That
cereal.
that America makes for people.
Yeah.
It just increases your insulin level so high and your
It's so
sugar.
bad, so processed.
It is.
So many.
But that's okay. Your
things.
body was able to metabolize it.
Yeah.
So then, what has changed now, especially since you have clients, you coach? What is the things that you learned now that you implement that you didn't do then? Besides, obviously, not eating, telling people not to eat the cereal, that type of thing.
Yeah. Just knowing about nutrition.
How did you learn?
It's just trial and error. Just Google, YouTube University. Just
a lot of that lately.
researching on my own. But it was a rough road because I started out modeling. So I went from being a big muscular football player with low body fat. I got into the modeling industry and they told me to stop lifting weights. They told
They want you to be
They
lean.
told me to run. They told me to don't eat carbs. So I turned into a marathon runner. I stopped
my
eating
God.
carbs until I would binge eat on them because I would be like, no, no, no. And then all of a sudden a loaf of bread would present itself and I would eat the whole thing. So that's kind of how I got into like a moderate like eating disorder of binge eating because I saw food as like good and bad and I was restrictive. So
Do you talk about that online a lot, or to anyone, or
yeah, I mean my clients for sure. That's kind of my history.
because I don't think a lot of men talk about that as often.
No, especially in the modeling industry, I feel like it's kind of it's more seen as like girls like eating disorders. But
Oh, yeah.
I think guys, we go through it too because everybody I know that wasn't former athlete that got into modeling were like, yep, don't lift weights, just run, don't eat carbs. It was kind of the same thing, and it just kind of messes with your mentality around food.
Well, what happened during that time? So you started doing the modeling and changed kind of because they're telling you to be a certain way and eat a certain way. What did that do to like self-esteem, to your body? What happened during that time?
Yeah, I mean self-esteem. I lost a lot of confidence and kind of my manlyhood, I guess. I almost feel like I kind of went in reverse as far as like maturity. Like I lost like I don't know, just like my manhood, as weird as that is.
Yeah, especially since you were more of like type A, bigger, stronger guy,
Yeah.
like always kind of like in control. And then now you have to like, you're being controlled by someone else and shrinking. You didn't feel as strong.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because I don't think a lot of guys talk about that. Actually, it's funny because most guys who come to me, that's how they want to be because they're not like, not the modeling part, the stronger, bigger guy. Because what I do, my specialty is actually taking people that are fit but aren't able really to see their muscles, and maybe they don't have as good as genetics as you to eat the things that you were able to eat because they didn't play sports like you did.
Yeah.
And I can shape them, and then when they work out, they could see it a lot more. And we make them more muscular. Like I'll put them on hormone therapy or peptides, which I'm very well known for. And I actually take fat from other areas of their body, injected their chest, their shoulders, their calves, and other areas and make it bigger. So they become that type of person that you were talking about you lost.
Yeah.
And the amount of self-confidence I see them get is like dramatic. I mean, the number of selfies I actually posted today an Instagram post that said, "Here are my selfies and my patient selfies of last week," and everyone that responded were responding to my patient selfies, not even to mine, because that's how confident they get that they want to send nudes, they want to send like their body because they look more muscular and they're more fit.
Yeah.
And then if you lose that, it's like somebody, it's like when you stop playing a sport, if you don't continue, you lose it. That takes a lot on your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Like ambition and drive goes. My hormones got messed up. Like my testosterone for sure was like an all-time low. And yeah, I mean, you won't find a lot of photos, videos of me because I didn't take them.
Oh yeah, because you didn't.
I didn't take any photos of myself. I didn't like how I looked. I wasn't, working out shirtless, like confident. I was just.
During that time, though, you were modeling.
Yeah.
Were you successful in the modeling?
So that was not really, and I think this is where I kind of messed up because I went super extreme. They told me to, get thin, and I went to the extreme, and I just looked completely different. Like no one really recognizes me when I show them photos of kind of that time. So no, it was a weird time. I feel like I didn't work much. Like I had clients that kind of liked me when I was bigger, and they told me like, don't get thin, don't go to New York, you're going to be thin and pale. And I was like, no, it won't happen to me. And it did.
Wow.
And I didn't work a lot. No. And I think my agents, they just, I don't know. They probably didn't really like my new look either, because it was kind of like unhealthy.
So then how did you change?
Just years of just kind of starting to lift weights again. But I don't know, like my lifestyle and like where I live just changed over the years. Going from New York to LA to Miami. I worked in a kitchen for a little bit. I thought I wanted to be a chef, so I worked in a kitchen, and that made me just kind of gain weight. I kind of had like an unhealthy.
Yeah, I've never seen a really big. I was saying there always would be a career for somebody that's like the most fit chef, because I've almost never seen it.
No,
it's very rare. Either the people that do it are so skinny because they don't eat it all, or they're very overweight because they're always tasting everything.
Yeah, it was just a rough lifestyle. So I mean, I kind of gained weight during that time, and so man, I've been all over the place. So I guess the donut kind of brought me back. In a way,
that's interesting.
It just finally got me out of that mindset and the kind of that restrictive. I can only eat these things on the weekends, and got me into that 80-20 lifestyle, which is what I promote, because I've had so much success with it, not just physically but mentally.
Well, I mean, the average person that wants to look good and live longer isn't going to be a model. They're not a D1 football player. They're not a professional athlete, that type of thing. And that's what I try and promote too, because I work, even though I have a successful brands and sell other things that I probably don't have to work as much as I do. I work like 14 to 16 hours a day, but yet I still do like 2 hours of the gym all the time, because I actually love it and gives me self-confidence, and it helps me have more mental focus, and I feel better, and I feel like I'll live longer. I think doing that sort of, being able to have things in moderation allows you to resonate with a lot of people, like the majority of people, not the top 5% that are like crazy into being what happened to you in New York, like being like specific. So what type of clients do you have?
I mean, majority are like 40 to 50, kind of either with like the typical dad bod, maybe former athletes that just want to get back to like their kind of college playing weight. Yeah, they all struggle with diet. Diet's the number one thing. Most of them can get to the gym, no problem. But then it's just kind of knowing what to do and then getting the diet in check. I think that's why kind of, I don't know, who I am with the donut is appealing, because they're like,
here's you looking good when you're actually having something that's not great for you, but in moderation, it teaches them that they still can.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. So yeah, just giving them diet plans that's like sustainable. So that's my big thing, is like, what can you sustain for the rest of your life? Because
That's practical.
If it's too extreme, you're not going to stick with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing I always tell. So for you to learn a little bit about me, and we'll go back to more detail with you, I was always serious into medicine, and I became a dermatologist many years ago, over 15 years ago. And at that time, I did skin cancer surgery, and I started learning about how to treat scars. And one of my friends said to me, I have a little bit of fat here, can you remove it? And at that time, dermatologists were doing a lot of liposuction. Now they're really not, plastic surgeons are. So I'm like the last of dermatologists that actually does liposuction. People all over the world come to learn from me doing it because I've been doing it for 16 years. And I do very detailed body shaping. I fix most people who have been damaged, either go to Tijuana or they try and get a deal.
Oh, they get botched?
Oh, all the time. all the time. I mean, last week I think we did 6 botched fixings.
Oh, wow.
So it's my specialty, actually. And I do other stuff too, but I became very well known in my field because of it. And I got a lot of negative feedback because I started social media many years ago. In actually around 2006 to 2007 was my first, I think, Facebook post. And I have YouTube from 2012 and 13 of me doing fillers on males. I actually have a lot of models, a lot of modeling agencies actually send guys to me for facial sculpting and fillers so they look natural and that type of thing. And so my specialty is sort of looking your best without looking like you had anything done, because we're fixing so many things. And so the people that come to me, they're very into active and fit lifestyles, being very healthy. We do a lot of peptide therapies. We do a lot of anti-aging. We have a whole IV clinic where people come in and get NAD IVs and BPC, which is a peptide for recovery. And I have major sports teams that come to me, actually, that we do hyperbaric oxygen therapy and red light and all this healing protocols and stuff. So I'm used to people that like their bodies matter, and but it's progressed more into how can we help people live better and live longer. That's basically what we're doing now. So that's why I want to bring people in that have built a brand, that are becoming successful, but have some relation to taking care of people that care about how they look, how they feel. A lot of my, people I'm interviewing are in fitness, but a lot of them are just entrepreneurs that do something that make people think differently about themselves or something like that. I've had school teachers, book writers, people that are just like very famous, and even a tattoo artist. It just depends on what they're doing. So I think, for you, one of the reasons it was appealing to me is if you're very fit, you obviously work out, but you do things that the average person does. So if somebody looks at you, they're not going to think you're average. Because if you go to his Instagram, you guys, he looks ripped, like almost like, how much body fat percent do you have?
Like 9.
I was gonna say like 5 to 10. I was like, it's pretty close. Most guys do not, just so you guys know that. On average, most guys are like 15 to 20%, if not more than that, if they have a bigger stomach type of thing. But if it's a bulky guy, their body fat percent is pretty high. So to be that lean and be flat, the average person will think it's unattainable, if they look at you. And so to hear that you went through a time where you didn't look like that, and it was difficult, but then you were able to turn it around, I think will resonate with a lot of people. And it does actually connect to what I do, because I'll have patients where, years go by and they, were fit, and then all of a sudden they lose it. Now they need a surgery to get them back. And a lot of people will think, oh, that's cheating to go have surgery. But sometimes a woman was the most fit, beautiful woman in college, and then she has a kid and her stomach goes out like this and is hanging skin. What is she gonna do? Last week I got like one post we did had hundreds of bad comments on it. How could you do this to the guy because he had a tummy tuck? And it was like, they didn't understand that this guy lost 100 pounds, and when you grabbed his skin, it literally pulled out to here, or it pulled up to here. He couldn't see his abs at all, and he worked out every single day. And the reason he wanted, do you need to stop? Oh, okay. The reason he wanted to do surgery was because he wanted to be tight again, so he could actually then work out and see his abs. So he has a scar, and on the images you could see them because I have them wear little underwear, but when he wears regular pants he won't be able to. And in a year throughout the year we'll laser it, and then people won't see the scar. But he actually needed that treatment to be able to get the type of body that he wants. You can't see it yet, but in the future we will. So even his trainer told him, there's not much more that I can do. You know, you could be as lean and as fit as possible, but if your skin moves around, or you like, let's say, you know, someone's biceps super small compared to their shoulders or chest, it won't grow. Sometimes I can add fat here and actually make the bicep grow. And so there's things that we could do surgically that when you actually understand, it actually complements. Yeah. But a lot of people will go, that's cheating, you know, when they see my stuff.
Yeah.
So I always bring people on to kind of explain that, because when they see mine, I tell people 6 months to a year later, they get so into how they look after surgery and motivated because they spent that money, and now it's like a life transformation, that they get trainers. They get a trainer every day. They're going all out. Like, they get the peptides, they do supplements. They're like serious. One of my clients from last week, his second week in recovery, he just had sent our DM to Instagram today and was like, already hooked up with my trainer. I got the nutrition set. This week I'm juicing. He's like, I'm ready for next week to get back to the gym. I know the result's going to be amazing in 3 months, you know? And he's like, it actually makes people want to work out more. But people look at it and they go, oh, that's just cheating. You know, so that's what's interesting about like kind of what I do, because the people do care that much about how they look and life transformations, that sometimes with what you do, you can't fully achieve it, and with what I do, I can't fully achieve it. You need both. You need and the diet and all those other things too.
Yeah.
So do you have patients where, or do you have clients where they work out with you and they're just stuck, like they can't get a goal?
Yeah. Some, you know, hit a plateau, or they just, I don't know. It's, they do the exercise, they do the diet, but they don't lose weight. And
what do you think it is for them? Do they cheat? Are they not as motivated as you think they should be?
That's the thing with virtual training. It's impossible to see how somebody works out.
I know,
because you get somebody like a workout on an app with, you know, a video and stuff, and how they do the workouts completely different than how I do it. I've had friends work with me in person, and after the workout, they'd be like, I've been working out wrong my entire life. And it's like, they're like, this is probably why my body doesn't change, because it's not just the exercise and the reps and the sets, like 3 sets at 10. It's about like the intensity and how you work out. So it's a mindset and just like a mental thing of how people like attack workouts and how they lift intensely. And so until they see it in person, they don't understand that they've been working out wrong.
Well, I always tell people, trainers have trainers, and like I have a trainer every day, and I can work out fine totally myself. I'm very fit, but I love having somebody push me. Like you get pushed so much more when you have somebody that's there sort of telling you what to do. Like today, my training was basically HIIT training. It was like 4 exercises in a row, and it's hard to do by yourself.
Yeah,
it's easier. It's much easier. It's still a hard workout, but it's much easier to do when someone's pushing you.
Yeah,
and I think that makes a difference. I also think one of the other things that makes a big difference is people checking their hormones. Because you had mentioned your testosterone or how you felt, that type of thing. I tested someone's testosterone upper 20s the other day, and it was like 200, which is extremely low. Just so you guys know, it depends on the blood lab, but in general, like 800 to 1,000 is kind of like a normal or a little bit high. And so at 200 in someone in their 20s is really low. And so you'd be surprised, but that person was already losing their hair a little bit. They had less energy, their sleep. And so I frequently tell people, we need to test your hormones, we look at your bloods, and doing things that can stimulate your metabolism. Sometimes it might just be supplements, like even green tea, for example, or it may be like peptides. Like for example, I have a supplement that's coming out that's a combination of 3 different peptides. One burns fat, one's a fatty acid that stimulates a little bit more blood sugar regulation, and then another's a peptide for recovery, and it helps like decrease your soreness and stuff. And those things like help you. I mean, they actually boost when somebody's at a plateau. And so you'd be surprised, like you'll have people that you don't see a result, and sometimes it's not even what you're doing. It's just other stuff they have going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about like the hormones. I mean, I didn't want to.
Even honestly, even like, for women.
Yeah.
For women, it's bigger. But I mean, I think it's even bigger if they've had kids. Because if they've had kids or if they have in their family a lot of disproportionate areas of fat, like they just can't lose it in certain spots, like bigger legs or certain areas, it's genetic and it's usually hormonal, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, that is a good point. A lot of people, I tell them to get their blood work and to get their free and total testosterone, not just their total, but their free too, because if it is low, it is an uphill battle.
Oh yeah,
to build muscle, lose fat, especially if your diet's not, dialed in and you're eating things you shouldn't. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of a big, other than a donut, I like seed oils, vegetable oils, just inflammatory. Things like low carbs and low fat, things that kind of mess with your hormones. So
well, there's some places that make donuts in like tallow.
There is, yeah.
So that it's healthier for you.
Yeah.
And I know Buffalo Wild Wings does that in their chicken. They're one of the places that doesn't
Wild
use
Wings does not use beef tallow.
does not use the seed oil.
No way.
I'm telling you, I don't quote me 100%, but I do believe. Maybe you guys can look up on Google really quick. What oil does Buffalo Wild Wings use? Because I believe that it's not a seed oil. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But with that said, though, I do carnivore a lot. Like that's actually the majority of the stuff. So I always just tell people if it's not processed, it's better.
Yeah.
That's
Single
really
ingredient.
it. Yeah, 1 to 3 ingredient max, and like not having gums, not having seed oils, dyes.
Yeah.
Like, although I do drink a lot of energy drinks. What is it? I was right. I told you. I knew it. Yeah, it's supposed to be the healthiest chicken wings.
That's crazy.
Supposedly.
Buffalo Wild Wings, as commercial as that is.
I know.
Especially coming from the Midwest. Like, we grew up on beef.
I know. It's my favorite. I love it. Now they have literally like 25 flavors or sauces or whatever. It's crazy. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Asian zing. It's all you need. No, I'm kidding. Or mango habanero, but they're so good.
Well, yeah, talking about companies, that would be like, I don't know, a dream of mine to have a donut shop that uses like beef tallow.
Yeah,
or like the
there is. Kind. I think there's one in LA actually.
Like good dough too, maybe like a sourdough even.
I think I sent.
You're not even using like enriched.
I think
flour.
I sent Alec. I think I sent you a donut place that's like that. I have to look it up. It might be New York though.
Wow.
It was either here or New York, but I can't remember.
Sourdough donuts fried in beef tallow.
There you go. You could be the brand. You could be the brand representative. We have the brand rep. You have a brand rep right here. You got to get him. We got to find out who it's going to be, or he starts it himself. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
No. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on was because you post a lot of inspirational things to people that I feel like I said are the people that could relate to you based on the things that you promote, even though if someone looks at you, they may think it's not acquirable to them, but I feel like you represent that they could, because you can eat a donut every day, or they can have this type of training and be successful. So what motivated you to want to train people, and then how do you keep those people inspired to keep and getting results? How do you get them the results?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What motivated me to train people was just kind of seeing people like struggle and feeling like I had like this like kind of secret formula that no one knew about, and it's just like a lot easier than I believed it was, and I feel like a lot of other people think it's just so complicated and hard.
To stay fit or
to get in shape?
Yeah.
And then just kind of being annoyed with mainstream fitness, the whole lifting every day, eating out of Tupperware 6 times a day. I mean, I fell victim to it. I did it.
I literally eat twice a day now.
Twice a day?
I mean, almost. I almost was thinking I should just have one large meal, and then I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't think I can get that much protein in. But even today, I had my pre-workout, and then I had coffee with protein. I put mixed protein in my coffee, and then and then that's it. I haven't even eaten a meal yet.
Yeah.
And I had 2 hard-boiled eggs.
2 hard-boiled eggs. Yeah. People are buying it.
I feel like you can still eat less and still look good. You can eat less and get what you need in that one meal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were told you can only digest like 20 to 30 grams of protein.
I don't believe that
at a time. No, it's been like debunked or disproven.
Yeah. I also think if you eat regular food, like natural food, like a steak, ground beef, something like that, you absorb way more of the protein than if you drink like whey protein.
Yeah.
Like
like the ancestral diet, like ancestors, like
exactly.
They did not eat 6 times a day, and they were able to digest Like
There are
otherwise
people that eat raw beef. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen that one
That's
guy that
wild.
eats the liver all the time.
It's
Oh
not
my
Liver
God.
King.
Yeah, Liver King. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Yeah, that guy.
There's other ones too, but no, I also, so like, on carnivore, it's the fruit, meat, and cheese basically.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing for a while, but little bits here or there, but I just feel like non-processed and
Yeah.
people are really good. Do you find that your clients can do that easy?
Yeah. The non-processed
Yeah.
way. Yeah. I mean, it's a simplistic approach. It's really
It
just
is.
like,
It's actually, I think, really easy to do because even if you go out to eat a lot,
Yeah.
just get a protein. I mean, it's really not that hard.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I go out to business dinners and I don't know what to do. I was like, just get steak.
yeah,
Like, what's so hard? Get a chicken
steak and
or fish.
potatoes.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Or,
Like, I don't
meat and
understand. Just tell them
potatoes.
they can actually use butter if they wanted to, for real. I mean, technically on carnivore, you could.
Yeah.
If you want to be a little bit healthier, maybe don't, or get ghee or something. I don't know. But
Yeah. Well,
That
yeah, you
would
can
be-
go out to restaurants, eat, meat and potatoes. It's like a go-to.
or and vegetables if you want.
Yeah.
The carnivore people that I follow, they actually don't even eat vegetables at all.
Well, yes. Saladino, he doesn't eat vegetables.
At
He's
all.
like, I don't. He's kind of one of those vegetable
Against,
against it.
I know,
And
it's
yeah, I read that
crazy.
Plant Paradox book, and that's all about vegetables being bad for you, plants being bad for you.
I know.
And I think Tom Brady kind of popularized it a little bit. He was like anti-inflammatory, wasn't eating nightshade vegetables.
Yep.
And yeah, I know Dave Asprey doesn't really, eat many vegetables.
No.
Kind of salads are bullshit type of thing.
It's funny because all the people you just mentioned, they all believe in peptides.
Yeah.
They all talk about everything anti-inflammatory. And so, Netflix just had a documentary on Brian Johnson. Do you know Brian Johnson?
No.
So he's the Do Not Die guy. He sold Venmo for $800 million, and then now he does $100,000 to $200,000 a month. He spends on himself to live longer.
No way.
And so what he's trying
That
to do, oh yeah, he has an entire team that stays at his house. He has doctors. They live there, and he does red light every day. He works out every day. He has 132 vitamins, or might be, don't quote me, maybe 134. It's on the documentary on Netflix. But I will tell you, the Netflix documentary is amazing. And the funny thing was, the reason I loved it was I basically do the same thing. I almost do exactly what he does,
Really?
but he does it a little bit more of an extreme. Like, he's doing it so extreme that he's the scientific experiment. And so for 3 years so far, I think 2 or 3 years, he's been seeing if his biological age through blood tests is slowing down, or his internal age is going down, but the rate at which he's aging is decreasing. And there's different tests to show that. And actually, at the end of the documentary, I think it was after 3 years, your normal, let's say 1x every year you age, his went down like 0.62 or something. So he actually was able to decrease his rate of aging by almost half by doing all these things: the anti-inflammatory diets, not eating after only eating 1 or 2 big meals, having all the supplements, doing the peptides. He did gene therapy in Honduras. He did like all this stuff. Obviously, the average person can't do that because they can't afford it. But he's just proving that the stuff that people want to do, whether or not it would help you or be bad for you. Yeah. And so, like, do you believe in any of those things, like the taking supplements or doing IV therapies? Like, I take NAD, and I like think it's changed my whole life.
Really?
So, I'm telling you, like, I had neck pains. I had I'm 44. I think I look a lot younger. I used to go to the bathroom all the time. I think I had like some gut issues. Now I don't. So stuff like that.
NAD, is that a peptide?
Yeah, NAD is a type of peptide. So it's an enzyme that's naturally in your body through process of like energy. You produce a bunch of it and you use it to expel energy. So if you sprint, you use a lot more NAD than if you're sleeping. And as you get older, it goes down really fast. It declines. And so at 30, it starts to decline significantly every year. So a lot of people online, Rogan and like all these people, they all say that NAD is like the anti-aging enzyme, and you can IV it, you could do shots or pills. And so in our office, we do it for patients after a surgery, after they've had a big procedure. We'll do IVs. It helps them recover faster, and it really does work. But athletes do it to like just be healthier, like to live longer.
Yeah.
And they all like, this documentary talks about like things like that. So I'm curious if you've had any like clients that do any of those things besides like hormones, because the difference hormones is different. That stuff you have already, and it's declining, but it goes through like a process. And if you give your body like an NAD or like there's another one called BPC that's also in your stomach naturally, but then when you give it, you get a little bit more. It just upregulates your own systems to produce more because you're giving more because of the decline. So people believe that those are anti-aging. Do you think, have you had many clients that have that?
No, most of the people I work with, they haven't taken peptides or anything.
Do they take
really.
like even vitamins?
Not really.
So what do they do to decrease like inflammation and stuff? It's all diet.
They're not doing anything.
Okay.
No.
And they look great? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, we're talking people that I haven't worked with.
Oh, no, you're saying you haven't worked with. I was saying the ones that you have.
Oh, the one.
I was saying like people that you have worked with, they do any of those things because they're training with you, they want to look like really good, you know?
Yeah.
So are they trying alternative things?
No, that all that stuff's kind of foreign.
Okay, interesting.
Because I haven't used it.
Right, so you don't say go do that.
Yeah, but I'm a huge advocate of like trying it for yourself.
So we're gonna get them on the new supplement.
I always experiment things first.
So I have a new supplement come out. I forgot what we find. The bottles were there. I finalized it a long time ago. So we did a clinical study for over a year. But I think we ended up calling it Vita Sculpt. It's basically three things. One's called AOD. It helps you decrease fat. It stimulates your liver to actually burn fat cells. There's another BPC, but in oral form, and that's already in your stomach, and it does a lot of different things. But the main thing, honestly, that most people, I think you would probably find the most benefit from is it does help sleep and hair. You have great hair, so you don't have to worry about it, but it will help you not lose your hair. And then it also does joints. It helps people with arthritis, which is good. You said most of your clients are in 40s to 50s. That's something that I think all of them should be on, because most people, honestly, they're getting toxic NSAIDs, ibuprofen, all this stuff that hurts their stomach and liver and stuff like that. And then it also has a phospholipid that's like very similar to like a super strong salmon, like a fish oil, you know.
Okay.
And so it's good for your heart. So we did studies on it, and it decreases body fat percent up to 18 times if people do their diet and exercise and follow a routine for 3 months. So you can lose a lot of weight without taking all these pills and shots that people do for weight loss. But it also could give you prevention in joints. It can help your stomach, hair, nails, like it does a bunch of stuff. So it actually works really well, but it's good because it's not a hormone, and it's a supplement that has almost no side effects, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to experiment with peptides.
Yeah, but those are three. Yeah. Those are 3 ones. And that's oral form, though. The other ones, like I take what I was going to say, that one of the other things I think that you didn't mention as much for blood testing that I think is really important for even younger guys, but the people that you're seeing in 40s to 50s is growth hormone. Because IGF-1 and just regular growth hormone, cortisol, they're all in relation to you being able to sleep better, you're being able to process things like even vision and like brain function and muscle. Obviously your muscle. So obviously as people get older, they atrophy. You know, you lose just all your mass. Yeah. And so growth hormone levels go down. So there are peptides that increase growth hormone. But if you take regular growth hormone, there's side effects. Cause diabetes, can make people look weird, their stomachs and things like that. But these other ones that are out there, like CJC is one, there's another called tesamorelin, sermorelin, all of those increase it. And you would be surprised. I had a patient I consulted with last week. He's like, I've been on CJC for a year. It doesn't do anything. And so I get his blood test, and it says his growth hormone levels are low. So I said, give me, what this doctor gave you or whatever. And I honestly don't think it's real. I don't even think it's real at all. I think he was taking it for a year, but the dose they gave him was like for an 80-year-old woman. I was like, you're this big dude. Like, you got to take like a real amount, Yeah. So I started on a new one, and I'm sure it's going to go up. Because my other client that looked just like him 3 months before, I just got his test back. It was like 3 times normal. So his growth hormone was super high. Yeah. So, and it really does change. So I think some of those things too are really good, useful even in people your age, my age, because we're already fit. It's not low, but you can boost it and get a better result. And it will enhance sort of what your clients do, what they get as a result. If they've plateaued. And even women, they need that stuff. It tightens their skin, it makes their muscles look better. I think those things help a lot.
Yeah. Raising my testosterone, I think, definitely is kind of what made building
Did you
muscle.
test originally the level?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was like 500.
I mean, that's lower for a guy of your size. Yeah. And that was when you were doing all the marathon, like the marathon running
No,
and the
this
eating?
was
Just
like
recent.
2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Year
How
and
old
a
are you
half
now?
ago. 37.
Yeah, that's when it starts to decline at 35. I mean, usually.
Yeah.
Usually. I tested mine at 41 because I was feeling, I work a lot, but I was like, I just feel a little bit more tired than normal. And it was like 240. It was very low.
Yeah.
So I went on TRT. I just do
Yeah.
TRT. I just tell people, if you choose to do that, you're just going to be on it your whole life. But
Yeah.
it definitely made a huge difference. You
Yeah.
muscle tone and how you feel, sleep.
Energy. Yeah.
Yeah, what did you notice?
That's what, I've done TRT.
No, like how did you increase the testosterone then?
Diet.
What did you do different?
And I started doing sprints.
That makes a difference, actually.
So
Muscle.
yeah, filmed like a sprint workout with Al, and that was
Oh.
I basically eliminated a lifting workout and just forced myself to sprint. So I do 3 workouts a week, 2 lifting, 1 sprint. Otherwise,
That's really good.
because I thought it was that important. But yeah, just diet, just eating a lot of potatoes, root vegetables, red meat,
Yeah, red meat will do it because it's higher cholesterol.
trying to just limit the kind of unhealthy food to just the donut and not go crazy on anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only eating that and 1 donut a day, that's not that bad for you. In calories, did you have a calculation at all? Do you do calories?
Yeah. So yeah, I tracked all my nutrition.
And
which
what is your
how
calories with the donut a day? On average.
I mean, when I was building muscle and I got really lean, I was at 3,500,
Okay.
and that was like I wanted to gain muscle. And for a while, I thought 3,000 was like my kind of maintenance, I guess, to like stay my same weight. But I was not gaining weight at all, eating
Okay.
like a little bit above that. So
What was the extra 500 calories in? Like a protein?
no, potatoes, like
Okay.
carbs.
Yeah, your body probably metabolizes
rice,
it well.
like-
So that's why the donut works for you, because you
Yeah.
the carbs you metabolize the carbs well.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I don't know. I feel like my body just,
Because I feel like if I did that, I would look not as defined. But if I did the 500 in meat, I actually would look different. I would be more muscular. My body needs more protein for some reason.
Think so?
I can live without carbs really and still look not fully defined, like not super lean.
Yeah.
So my body actually doesn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't. Everyone's different how they metabolize things.
yeah.
I actually don't believe as much in the calories. I'm like, it's funny because as a doctor, usually everything's very methodical. I just believe more in if you have your macros and you know what you need to grow or lose, as long as you eat that enough in that number, you're probably fine. Like I just eat as much protein as if I can get my protein number, I'm fine. That's how I do it.
So you
But it's
track your
different.
protein.
I think for the clients you have, yeah, I think the clients you have probably need the number, to actually lose and to have like a regimen.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
can
if you
track
can't- if you
losing.
can't, like, what is it? If you don't measure it, you can't manage it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Because honestly, people have no idea the number of calories. One of my favorite Instagrams is the one where the girl goes, "What I eat a day as a fat girl." Do you ever watch any of these? There's 2 or 3 of them. And then another guy green screens what she ate and says the calories and the price.
oh
And so she thinks it's like 2,000 calories, right?
yeah.
She goes to Disneyland or whatever. And then everything she ate was 8,600 calories.
Wow.
So I was like, holy shit. Like people have no clue what they eat or do.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
100%?
Yeah, because people don't realize what's in stuff.
Yeah. I mean, my little brother lost a ton of weight, got ripped in a 6-pack when he started tracking because he was just unaware
Yeah, that's the
of how
thing.
much he was eating. He was a former athlete.
Oh, wow.
So you just eat.
He just thought he could eat.
Yeah. And it's like, and he's like,
He'd be like,
loves
I'll burn
chips
it
and
off.
stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, chips
and
are
just
so
like,
bad for you.
and then
I
he
love
started
chips, too.
portioning it out. And he's like, oh, geez, that's
know.
300 calories.
I know
It's
that's
like
the
barely
problem.
anything.
That's the other Instagram I like where they put a line in the middle and they go 180 calories, 180 calories, and it's like McDonald's 180 calories and like what you can make at home or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 plates of like fruit and all this stuff. And then over here it's like a little nub of like one of their lollipops or something. Their cake pops or something like that.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
the biggest thing is just awareness.
Yeah, I don't think people know it.
calorie awareness. Because I feel like eventually you can get to where you are now. You don't have to track. You kind of know
Yeah.
more or less how much you're eting.
Yeah.
But
That's what I do.
initially, a lot of people just need to know like what, like, I don't know, portions
Yeah.
really.
So what I was trying to say to you before about how I started. So I came from a family that had, like I say, middle class or whatever. And then when I went to college, I had to do everything for myself, put myself through everything. And I literally came from almost nothing when I moved here. When I moved here, I had like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt from medical school and stuff. And so I didn't know a single person either. I had finished my fellowship in San Francisco, and I got this amazing job. And all my friends were telling me, it's a ton of money. You got to do this job. But then I would drive home every day, and I hated what I was doing. It was not what I wanted to do. It kind of reminds me of like when you were in New York and you thought you wanted to model, and then you kind of did it and you like didn't really like it, or like it led you to like not be who you felt you could be. Right. So that's what happened to me. So I drive home every day, and my friends and my family were like, yeah, but you're getting paid so much and all this. I was like, I'd rather make nothing and be happy doing what I want to do every day. So I went to my best friend and I was like, I want to move to LA. I think everyone wants cosmetics there. And this is in 2013. And he was like, if you want to move to LA, just move to LA. So everyone told me no. He told me yes. We got a U-Haul and I came here myself. And I moved here with my dog, who's 17. She's in there. And a couple of little laser devices because I worked with a couple companies. And then I joined a practice here that was very famous, and the doctor is actually super famous now because he has a TV show. But and then I started on my own. But I used to literally just go hand out cards, do all this stuff. So my donut basically was, at that time, no one did social media. Right now, everyone posts selfies. Paris Hilton made popular all this stuff, and so no one did all that. So I made this card. And it had a picture of like half my face on it. And it was like the artist of like the face or something like that. And my friends were like, you're such an idiot. That's so stupid or whatever. Every person that saw this card, because now no one does cards anymore, but it panned out cards. Everywhere I went, Equinox, every restaurant, I'm like, here's my card. And I just gave it out to everyone. And everyone would be like, that card is so interesting. And it was almost the start of like people branding themselves, like your picture on it, like you are the face of it. And now like everybody does that. But at that time, my friends were laughing at me. And then like 3 years later, all of them had that. Actually, one of them hired someone like Alec to basically videotape her and her outfits. And every day she would put on a nice outfit because she came from a very wealthy family. And I was like, she's such an idiot. And then now, what does all these people do? The get dressed with me, It's 10 years ago she did this. Yeah. So it's funny how in medicine, we started that like becoming like someone you can relate to be able to want to go to me, like to go to you for something. So do you feel like your clients like that come to see you relate to you and the things that you say on social and digital? Yeah,
I think that's
so what drives them
selling
to you?
Factor. They see me eat a donut and they just see my lifestyle, and then it's just kind of like, I mean, it looks like, fitness isn't like your whole life,
right?
You're not in the gym every day. They're like, oh, 3 days a week I can do that. I can eat a donut, sweet, or I can eat whatever their donut is. They don't have to be super strict with their diet. They can drink alcohol. So I think it's just,
so that's very relatable.
Yeah.
And that, I think that resonates
like
with
not
people.
Being like, you only have to work out 3 and I'm in there like 6.
I mean,
you can eat a donut and then I'm not eating, like I kind of live it out. And then just try and teach other people to do the same thing.
That's really good. Cause I think that's where, I didn't know this was occurring in 2013 to 14 when I started that, but it's led now into, that's why I have this whole thing, because I became probably the most popular doctor on Instagram besides Dr. Mike, who's on TV and has YouTube and everything. But in my field in aesthetics, everybody follows me because I started doing, like, I had my own marketing company. I had like, we were the first people to like take a client and show their transformation. So I would videotape in the operating room. Actually, one of the first videos I ever made has 8 million views on it in like a couple years on YouTube, which is not a lot for what people know of now with YouTubers, but for a doctor, when someone's following a full surgery, it's pretty high. And so we literally followed her the second she landed in LAX to my office to meet me, to interview the surgery. Then we showed her results, and we flew her back months later to so she could show off her results and put a dress on and like show everything. And like now all the trainers, they have client of the day, or their Instagram have the pins of their best client results. I was following someone today where it was a picture of his before and after over 3 years. And then when you went into carousel, it was 20 of his clients over the past 6 months, right? Yeah. So it's funny how we started that, but that's what everyone's doing now. So like, what do you do now for yourself to like, promote yourself and like get people to want to go to you? What drives people to you besides the donut? What else do you do? I mean, obviously you have great workout videos.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my marketing isn't the best.
But
I don't.
Sometimes minimal marketing is the best.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
like look at I don't know if you follow Bethany Frankel. Do you know her?
Yeah.
So what does she do every day? Literally makes coffee every single day. Every day. Oh my God, she has literally an iPhone by her coffee maker, and this ready to drink powder that she makes that she's so crazy about, and there's no editing. It's just literally a video that she takes with her phone and she posts it immediately and puts words on top. That's it.
It's not on her story, it's on her
no she puts it on her feed. She did one today already, but I'm saying like she does do fancy stuff too. But the majority of stuff that people resonate with her is just straight to an iPhone talking.
Yeah.
And like Spencer Pratt, I don't know if you're following him right now.
I know who that is.
Okay, so he literally, I don't know how many videos he's done in the past 2 weeks or a week and a half since the fire.
Yeah.
Probably 1,000 of him, just literally his face.
Yeah.
Obviously crying if he's happy for whatever reason or the things that are occurring right now. But like so many people are following that. And that's like literally minimal marketing, right? I'm not saying he's marketing. Yeah. He's talking about a cause. But I'm saying like, I think sometimes minimal is actually better.
No, yeah, you're right. I think there is like a shift in like real, relatable like content, just talking. I think what people eat is like it's not like the best quality or anything. It's just like what people eat, and if it's like just healthy, good food, it's really trending right now. And I think just being relatable and talking to the camera is
and that's that's all you really need. That's what I was saying. I feel like you have some great like real, not documentary stuff, but like really like high quality videos. But then you have stuff that's just you, and that's relatable. Because that's the stuff I actually follow a lot of. Because again, I started this a long time ago when no one did it. Now I follow all this stuff, and we have companies that do this for our living. So I follow like all that, and a lot of the people that are really successful in it now don't do really expensive things. It's just being completely relatable, etc. That's why I brought up Spencer, because I was like, he is right now, like I'm literally wanting to see like who he's reposting or whatever, because it's just him talking, Yeah, it's funny.
He was popping off on Snapchat years ago. He would like make a coffee every day. I just remember seeing his Snapchat.
That's Bethany Ringle.
And he'd be like singing.
Yeah.
And just I think he had the same song. Just dancing, making coffee, and
that's like what he's kind of doing now, actually. But to Heidi's songs and stuff. But it's kind of interesting. So that's why I was asking. Is like I actually do pretty extensive marketing, because I think it's different in aesthetics. I mean, I do relatable personal branding stuff because people want to come to somebody confident as a doctor. Yeah. People want to know like your highest quality, you do really good work, which we show that we're innovative and progressive, because I'm one of the people in the industry where people come to me first before things come out, and then we trial it and we use it. But on the relatable side, I show people like what I'm eating. I show them the supplements I take. I show them like, you know, what I'm doing every day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or even like the biggest post I think I had recently was me just in the car really early in the morning, like 4:30, going to the gym and being like, I don't want to fucking go to the gym right now. And all you out there that are probably sleeping and not listening to me, I'm still got my ass up and I'm going.
Yeah.
And I did like a carousel and I just made these videos while I was driving, and that had the biggest views. And so my whole team is like, you need to just take the iPhone and videotape every day. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so annoyed of having to do that. But I feel like that's what people want to see, because then they're like, oh, that's the person that I relate to.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to take some notes out of that book. I mean, I don't know. You're telling me exactly what I need to hear, because I don't do that. I don't really talk to my audience as much as I should, and give like, just, I don't know, tips and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a tip a day. When I first started here for cosmetics, again, Instagram, I don't even know if Instagram, I don't remember when it started, but I feel like I was doing Snapchat first, and then I think Instagram had just started in like 14 to 16, somewhere in that range. And I would do every day a topic, and I was just me and my desk. And now everyone has it so fancy. You know, I didn't even think we had a halo light or a selfie light or anything. I was just at my desk, and I'd be like, I'm going to talk about Botox today. And then I'm going to talk about this skincare product, or I'm going to, like, literally every day I would do one thing. And then after 2 years of doing that every single day, people would write and be like, I need you to talk about this. I need you to talk about that. I need you to talk about that. And that was like, oh my God, this is too much. Like every day 25 topics is like impossible. So I feel like if you started doing that, it would even be more, you know what I mean? Like you get so many people to be like, okay, I really, with the stuff he's talking about, it excites me, you know?
Yeah. Let's be consistent with it.
Where do you see like your professional business going over the next year or two or on?
Well, yeah, I think in the next year it's kind of exciting, because right now, I mean, full transparency, like I've been doing a lot of other things than training people.
Like
I've
what?
kind of been like a jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, the modeling. I was taking acting classes.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to get into like TV and film. It's kind of why I came out here. I was in Miami, and then I wanted to give acting kind of like one last shot. So I moved out here and yeah, started taking classes. Obviously, I still
Did you do anything for acting yet or no?
No, I did like an indie film called Armageddon, but it hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
That was kind of what kind of gave me the acting itch that I wanted to kind of scratch. And then I was out here. I got my real estate license, California real estate
Very
license,
successful
because
here.
my buddy was doing it, and
That's one of the businesses I had. Well, I still have, but I just stopped it for a year. I've flipped probably, I think, 4 or 5 houses in the past couple years from 2020. Actually, well, the first house was purchased in 17, but in 2020 till now, and it's unbelievable. If you have good teams, you could do a lot.
just saying, like, where do you find the time to buy and flip?
Just do it. This was a house I was gonna flip. But I like it so much I didn't.
See, yeah, that was kind of. I mean, I know real estate is like
It is, and right now it's
the
insane.
thing to get into, and just buying. That's kind of why I wanted to get in. It was just buy and flip. But yeah, I had my license in Florida. My buddy was out here doing it and told me to get it. So I was just like, I was kind of like that Step Brothers, you know, Derek. He's like, yeah, I got my license back in college for
come over
shits
here.
and giggles. So it's kind
I mean, listen, I know people that are like literally chronic getting chronic education. Like they literally every time there's some degree they get every year. I'm like trying to figure out what it is they want to do, but they've ended up being successful in all the things that they wanted to do, or they found something really interesting. Like I did not even know. I loved cars. I've always loved cars, but I had no idea. When my friends came to me years ago, they said, oh, you know, they're younger guys, but they were really, really passionate, really motivated. And they said, we want to start this car shop. It's going to be like, you know, much different than all another, the lighting, social media, all this stuff. So we give some money. Now it's 3 locations, and it's honestly could be way more than that even. But then the wrap, when another person came to me with the wrap and it's like, there's only one big wrap company in the United States. I'm like, what do I know about wraps? I've wrapped cars, my own cars, but I didn't know. And then they came to me with a proposal. I was like, I'll do it. And then now it's like, honestly, it's probably going to be the biggest one in the next year in America. So it's just crazy what you never know what will come if you try things out.
I think Jason Derulo said like his
he does
biggest source of income is car washes.
Yeah. So and then like
who would have thought that?
I know. And actually I was looking at it, although around here they're not that great, unfortunately. But that's his. I think he has over 150 of them or something. It's a lot. But he's very successful.
People you see him do one thing and it's like that's not like you. It's like that's not even like
Shaq is like that. Do you know Shaq? Yeah, his background, his like what he does. He owns like restaurants. He owns like I think car washes too. There's a lot of things.
Yeah,
but
he's just a business.
His money is from all that. Yeah. All of that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's encouraging to hear you do a bunch of different things because I always thought like you need to focus on one thing and just master that before you start. Because I'm like I feel like dabbling in just a bunch of things.
I feel like if you. For me, I became successful in one thing and like how to let it go, and then it became successful, and then I started doing other stuff because I needed for medicine. You have to be like dedicated.
Yeah.
But in other things, you could do a little bit and then see what's best. Most people will tell you that are really successful entrepreneurs. They will say, pick one thing, do it the best possible, and then go on to the next, and you build that. So that's what they'll say. But that's more of like. If you're starting a business, like if you're buying something or because you have to devote everything to make it successful.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I feel like with the training, and kind of why this like really starting next month, just trying to just kind of ramp it up, get like a sales team. So I don't have to do sales calls.
Yeah.
Just delegate.
That's really good. Well, that's so that. If you watch a lot of entrepreneurs that are really good at sales, they'll tell you, till you get a certain amount of revenue or a certain amount of clients, then you bring in the person, and then you to grow, you have to continue to delegate out. Like in my practice, I have over 50 employees in my doctor practice, and that's all managed by management, so that I don't have to do any of that. So the only way to grow is to do that. Yeah. But I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
So we'll look at that for you, but I think we should do a workout. That's what we need to do. We need to do a workout for sure, because I'd be curious to see his workouts.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's it. I'm excited. Yeah, well, I'd love to. I don't mind. I'm pretty good. I could do it.
Yeah.
Right, Alec? I'm pretty good at handling a workout.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's great. I'm really glad to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell people how to look you up and get a hold of you. You guys, I mean, I told you, I interview people that are aspiring to their audiences. They inspire people to be better, that they, are dedicated and passionate to what they believe in, and help people, feel better about themselves, just like I do in my career, in my main career. So that's why we had him on today, and just go follow him and start training with him, because he's the only trainer I know that will tell you can have an apple fritter every day if you want, or at least half of one.
Half an apple fritter. That's the only rule.
Yeah, so, as I said, you tell them.
Yeah, I mean, on Instagram, Brady Ervin, BradyErvin. It's kind of my main source of content. But yeah, one thing I can say, you don't have to be perfect with this. 3 workouts a week, just make sure they're intense. And if you're starting out, you don't have to track your nutrition. Just start eating more whole foods. Red meat and potatoes can be a game changer for you. And that's it. And just stay with it.
Yeah, that's great. And then I'm going to talk to you separately about the supplement that I have coming out. So I actually think that'll be a game changer for you. I think you'll love it. So we're going to get him on some peptides and some anti-aging stuff. And you guys will see another transformation from him. Although I think he's almost perfect, but we'll be really close to getting him even more.
Yeah, the anti-aging.
Take care.